Hello everyone and welcome to Gierok Farms. It is an early spring day today. We just had a shot of rain yesterday, but today we have some cleaning up to do. It's sloppy out there, so we'll probably clean some of the lots, push out some of the alleyways. I don't know if we'll find a place to spread it off, but at least we'll clean it up, keep the pens clean. We got to get the barn prep for these cows to come in this afternoon. What else you got planned for today, Dad?
Pretty wet out, so
Probably not gonna get too carried away.
well, we could go cut up some more firewood. Anything we can do without tramping around with a tractor, because even like hauling manure now, they're very limited on where we can put it.
We got to store it in piles in the yard here in order to...
All the bedding pack. Well, we got the calf barn. We got to clean out the alley. We're gonna leave the bedding pack, and then I got a stack back here. We're doing.
I seen that you moved the super hut, which is it's that time of year for stuff like that, trying to prevent scours. And
Well, we have a little bit of scours and calves, and what dairy farmer hasn't, but we moved it so a fresh spot. And actually, so the old spot, see where it was here, and it's probably been almost a year and a half ago. I think we made a video when we pushed it back on this spot. So what I did is I dug out the dirt maybe about 4 to 5 inches down or something. Then we had some fresh road gravel, and we put it in here to kind of give it a new base. I mean, we're very limited on where we can put this thing, because where it's sitting now is where we put our fall silage. Down there where that car is parked, that's where the snow usually gets piled up over winter. If we do end up getting a lot of snow, we got to get in back here for the barnyards, and we got waterway, and of course on and on it goes. So, but I think what we're gonna do, I've been thinking about this last few days, is I think I want to pour a slab over this so the hut is up on concrete, and then where they have their pens out front a little bit too. It would be easier to keep it clean, so we still may have to move it off of there, pressure wash it out. We did our paternity pen yesterday, cleaned that all out. I mean, we did consult with some veterinarians and what their advice is and what you think you got going on. It seems about every third, fourth year we get something. Then all of a sudden it's good for a long time. It can go 2 years and hardly have, just minor stuff.
I think it's something that goes dormant, and it's in your buildings, it's in the ground.
It seemed like wood. Any dairy farmers dealt with all this. I mean, you don't want to lose your cattle.
But as for a base, I haven't talked to Dad about this, but just sparked in my mind seeing this. At my off-the-farm job, we did this in an old fertilizer plant to neutralize everything and dry everything out. Gravel's a good thing, but lime, like a nice powdery lime, like 60-69 or 80-89, that just turns stuff to dust. It's beautiful.
It does, yeah, and
really soaks stuff up.
This gravel is it is limestone.
Yeah, it's just not ground as fine.
No, it's not the high end stuff, but it still is. But yeah, you got a point. So the theory with dirt is, yes, it can absorb some of the moistures and things, where concrete, and then of course there's better traction on it. And we've been pretty good about cleaning this hut up. That's been painted a few times too, which helps seal up the wood a lot. And then there's a lot of guys go to them poly huts and everything. There's not a whole lot to them, but they're just easier to sanitize. I think if you're going to be in a larger calf raising situation, you're going to want to get it so that you can get around some of those issues better.
Yeah, no doubt concrete will be the best long term.
They don't give the gravel away anymore, and it gets, like originally it was just plain dirt, like lawn, and we just stick it on there and it worked, and then you get 5 years out of that, and next thing you know, you're wondering what to do to try to prevent whatever bug has been bothering you there. But another thing I was thinking here, now that we moved it, feeding situation, because again, there's no room here. If we would get some sort of TMR or something with something that can convey the feed into our carts and wheelbarrows and stuff, I mean, you could drive here to, up above and come right around. But then the dilemma is, okay, where do we put the calves? So they'll be, and the further away they are from the barn, it's
The more work it is.
Yeah, and you want them where you can watch them too, in there, and where there's light from the, like here we got lights on the barn and there's light on the shop, so everything is lit. You can kind of see what's going on in the colder months. But
yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, it's an option that can be, because otherwise you're backing in on a side hill versus driving and then stopping and then just pulling ahead and circling right around. We could really go crazy first, get a nice trench in the hill down there. There's all sorts of ideas, but how far do we want to go with all this? Right now, I think we got a sweet little setup. It's just keeping up with what we got. It's a little laborsome, but
yeah, I gotta make it easier on you.
Well,
no one's getting younger around here.
Are they? Not. Well, yeah, you guys might not be able to hold up to all that.
Yeah, but it's a good thought to have future-proof something by making something else nicer.
There's always, it's like in the 90s, we purchased a lot of equipment and different things and adjusted our buildings. It seemed like, you know, the calf barn was a prime example. That was built in 93. And then to go ahead and, you know, now it was easier to take care of the livestock, you know, the young stock, so to speak. We had a maternity pen added on there in 03. You know, then that made it nicer. We didn't have to be trying to calve something in a stall or in a bunch of other cattle. It was just, you know, things like that made a huge difference. But now it's just all this fine tuning, and it seems like you add something now, it kind of interferes with something else that we already, you know, had going. But we only have so much room to work here with. So you guys in your comments, just keep that in mind. We only have so much room to get around. And my opinion is when it comes to anything mechanical or electronic, you know, it's never foolproof. And then when that don't work, it almost makes the old way of doing things okay. That's just something to keep in mind when you start updating to something more modern. And
anyways, that's the update. What's been going on here the past couple days, but we have some cleaning to do this morning, so we're gonna jump into that.
different load. That one bay was from a year before.
Okay, we finished up bedding up in here. I gotta say, this is another really nice straw bale, really fine, comes apart really nice, kept really nice. Dad says that it was from a separate load, and it was part of that stack that we brought out from the back corner of the shed a couple weeks ago. And some more updates with the dairy barn. You'll see that there's a couple of the windows that are out. He's got 3 of them out, and that's because it's warming up. He's kept them in here so you can put them back in on those cold nights, because we still are dipping below freezing. We're gonna finish feeding up. He just ran down and grabbed another load of silage to finish off the barn here, and then we'll lime up in there, and that should be it for getting the barn prepped.
Sure, some nice feed.
Okay, Dad dumped the rest of that wagon into the calf barn, so they're gonna eat that up. Meanwhile here, I'm gonna chase the dairy herd out of this front barnyard here, because we're gonna come in here and clean it up, scrape up that bedding pack. And he's gonna go get another load to feed the heifers with, and then also stockpile to feed our dairy cows here. All right, girls, come on, yep, out of here, yep. Yeah, come on. have the barnyard all cleaned up. Now we're moving on to the calf barn, just scraping out that front alley, and then we're gonna bed up the bedding pack. Okay, we got our calf barn all taken care of. Everybody is happy in here, healthy. Now they're filling up their bellies on that nice feed we have in here. I just noticed I gotta jump back in there, close that window quick. It's gonna cool down tonight. All we really have left for chores is to let the dairy herd back in. And then once the heifer barn cleans up their manger, we'll be laying out the silage there. So thank you all for sticking to the end. Make sure to leave plenty of comments down below. Check us out at GierokFarms.com. Get some of your summer merch. We got t-shirts and hats. Get ready for summer. If you haven't already, subscribe. It's free. It helps us out a lot. But we appreciate you being part of the journey, and we will see you all next time.